everybody, again it is your girl TJ with another Fat2Fit Finance video for this week, because I always try to push out 2 videos a week for you, especially for the high school series. Now this video is titled, and it may sound a little bleak, a little grim, the reality for recent graduate students, or I should say undergraduate students. Why? Because once you graduate, that outlook may not be as bright or as shining as you thought it was going to be. And I'm going to give you some examples why. Okay? Let's all breathe. Let's just brace ourselves and breathe. Okay? You ready? Drowning in debt, living in mom's basement, living paycheck to paycheck, figuring out how do I juggle rent, car insurance, baby formula, student loan payments. These aren't horror movie titles that I just listed. This is the actual reality that a lot of graduates go through the moment they are done on campus. Trust me, they have that big hoorah, and they throw their cap up, and they have one big shebang with all their friends, and then they move back home. And some of them never leave home. That's the sad reality, because it's a little dark of a reality for a lot of graduates right now, and I want to explain some of the real numbers. Not to necessarily scare you, but you do need to be aware of what it's like so you don't fall into this same trap of being naive, that it's no cakewalk. It's time to dive into some numbers. Ready for some statistics? Number 1, the average student graduates with about $37,000 in student loan debt. I myself attended a private institution, so you can about double that for everyone that I went to school with. Number 2, only about 2/3 of graduates actually find work in their field of study. Heck, I graduated with kids and immediately after college, they were working at Starbucks. And it wasn't because they were going to get their master's either. Number 3, most students believe that they will have this high-achieving income as soon as they graduate and walk through those doors, and that will help offset whatever student loan payments that they will have to make. Here's the bleak reality. For about 39% of students that graduated in 2014 and 2015 from undergrad, they were making about $25,000 a year. I don't know how to explain this to you. It's extremely hard to live on your own, maintain an independent lifestyle, not living at home, and be able to make debt payments that usually range about $1,000 a month. It's kind of hard. And number 4, the final one. Once we graduate and we're out of high school and then we go to college, that is freedom. That is not having mom and dad looking over your shoulder or asking you who, what, where, when, and why. You're coming and going, and you have that freedom in college, and then you get home and you expect, or at least in our minds, that we're going to be right back out on our own just the second we're done maybe with celebrating graduating. But that's not the case, because 39% of students that are graduating right now expect to live at home for a year. I want you to think about that. You've had all this freedom for 4 years, and now you're moving back in with mom and dad, and they are not going to understand when you say, oh, I'm just going out and I don't know when I'm going to be back. They don't get that, because you're still their little boy. You're still their little girl. They're still going to want to know who, what, where, when, why, and how you're coming and going. And that's very difficult for an adult who's been on their own to adapt to. That's a scary reality. 39% are like, yeah, I'm just going to be back home in my own room. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. No. I get it. A lot of us will go and we will follow that, that stigma, that cycle of life. We will graduate, we will get married, we will immediately buy a house and a car and have kids. And we do all of this in the exact same time period that we're still juggling these student loan payments, and then we've ran up credit card debt because we're trying to keep up with what everyone else is doing, the newest gadgets, the newest iPhones, the newest everything. I get it. I understand. It is very tempting, and I'm never knocking anyone that chooses to go ahead and have a kid immediately after school while they're establishing themselves and their family and they're hitting all those milestones. That's fine. But simply be aware of the position you may be placing yourself in, because if the average cost to raise a kid every single month is about $1,100 and you have student loan payments alone that are $1,000, okay, well that means we need $2,000 of income, after taxes, that must be there if you're going to have a kid and you still have to make these debt payments. Oh yeah, and by the way, the average person has a car note, and we have rent, and we have car insurance, we have all these other expenses. Make sure that you are financially stable, maybe before jumping into all of that. And understand, so many graduates aren't stable enough to be able to be on their own. I mean, if in 2016, 39% of graduates coming out said, hey, I'm going to live at home for a year, what does that tell you? They couldn't maintain rent, car insurance, phone bill, cable, lights, gas, utilities, putting food on the table, putting clothes on their back, oh, by the way, gas to actually get back and forth to work, and be able to pay whatever debt they may have. That's a scary reality. I don't want you to have this reality, which is why I've done this entire series for you to hopefully not take out loans, not put yourself in that position. Choose better than all of us that joined the fraternity of $1 trillion worth of debt, and now we still can't pay it off, and we're still all in the rat race. And trust me, I am desperately trying to get myself out of that race. And I hope that you are too, but you don't have to go down this road. But this is the reality. So if a lot of you have older friends, because I was one of those people where I had older friends than myself when I was in high school, and you see them come out and you're excited and you go to their graduation party, well, understand it's not all roses and sunshine and butterflies and, you know, pooping Skittles and stuff when they graduate. A lot of times it's hard. It's scary. They might be crying, rocking themselves to sleep at night because they can barely afford ramen noodles. I mean, that's what it is. I don't want that for you, but again, this is just kind of a wake-up call for you that postgraduate life is not all it's cracked up to be sometimes, because you need to put in the work to make sure that you are financially stable once you are ready to start your life after graduation, and that you have done the work before that so you haven't put yourself behind the 8 ball, which is student loans. So hopefully you take heed to this, you listen, and you choose better than a lot of us did.